Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Max here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Russell, and he's selling his SaaS and subscription business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Russell. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. Just had a huge breakfast with my family, so I'm actually feeling sleepy already.
We won't take up too much of your time. Before we start, I'll run through everything involved within this business. So it's a SaaS subscription business in the business niche, created in January 2017. The average monthly revenue for the business is $1,654 and makes an average of $1,077 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47945 to learn more about the business. Included in the sale is the domain and all site content files, an email list which is stored in Intercom, and social media accounts including Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, Russell, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building or running online businesses?
Yeah, so I entered into the online business space in 2015 with a different business. And before that had done terrible in terms of scalable businesses, about 8.5 years before that of agencies and, pretty much making every mistake in the book on business. So my other business, not the one we're talking about today, started that in 2015. And along the way, signed up for different online tools and just loved finding the right tools that helped us work faster, helped us work more efficiently. And lo and behold, one of the tools that we loved and used every day to interact with our clients and get data and do like a lot of cool things, just engaging with prospects and clients. We found out the company was closing and we couldn't believe it because it was such a valuable tool for us. So I reached out to the founders and I just said, hey guys, I run this other subscription business. You guys have this thing. In my mind, I just thought, hey, I could just resell this to my current clients in a heartbeat, which ended up something that we did and made a good amount of money on that. But ended up just buying the business straight up from these two guys. And it was the easiest business deal ever. It was way less formal than Empire Flippers because they didn't even have a business contract. My lawyers are super annoyed. We did it all formally and they signed 100 waivers and liability things. But we bought it in 2017 and it's just run itself since then.
And you sort of talked about it being subscription SaaS. So how does this primarily make money?
Yeah, so it is a monthly subscription of varying price points, auto build. So clients who need it, they go to the site. There's no sales process. There's no interaction. It's basically self-service. They put in their credit card, they sign up and they start using it, which is a beautiful business to have because there's nothing to really support. You're not having to get on a sales call. You're not having to manage anything. The software that you're buying runs itself. We don't really have to do much updates. We poured a lot of money ourselves into improving it since we purchased it, adding a lot of automation and really cool features that have made it even more valuable since the original product. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like a set it and forget it kind of thing. And I think, the dream buyer is someone who has small business clients and could easily just, without much marketing spend or advertising spend, say, hey, here's this new tool that we have, go use it.
And you mentioned that it kind of runs self-sufficiently, but how do new customers find your product?
Well, we've done over the years very, very light content marketing work. I don't know how much detail I can give, but without, going into too much, it's a unique tool that collects data based off a very popular framework of surveys. And it's one of the top 3 to 5 tools out there that does this. So when you're searching for how to conduct these kinds of research, our tool is, I wouldn't say we're the best, page 1, slot 1 SEO optimized, but we're definitely, on the top 5 of the tools in terms of what's out there. And so we organically get clients, but to be completely honest, Max, our retention's insane. We've done virtually no marketing, virtually nothing, and kept basically all the revenue for the years. It's a super sticky tool. Churn is super low, that being clients who cancel. Once you use it, you love it, and it really becomes a part of your business, as it has with my other business. And that was one of the main reasons we bought it.
Yeah, I did notice that when looking at it. Something else that I noticed was that you also had a blog with this as well, which is included in the sale, but it hasn't been updated in a few years. Is that kind of how the organic search gets towards your product?
Yep, right. And I have to admit, this is sort of like, this tool is kind of like if you were a parent and you had like a star soccer player child and you kind of ignored them for a couple years. Like, the tool is so amazing and it's so great and it works exactly as described. But the acquisition, I mean, frankly, it was a business that I never was able to pour a lot of time into, and yet it was still profitable every month. The revenues are super consistent. So I can only imagine who's going to get this. They could blow this up in a heartbeat. But I think the blog, the content marketing, even paid advertising, which we've tested a little bit out early on, it's all been very successful in getting clients simply because it's such a specific tool. And there's not really a lot of explaining that you have to have. If you see it and you need this tool, it's an immediate, like, yes, I'm going to try this.
And you talked about it being run basically hands off, but can you describe the amount of work that you do for this site for maintenance?
Right. So yeah, I guess full disclaimer, it's not 100% hands off. No business is. I think there's probably 30 minutes a month for accounting, maybe 2 to 3 hours a month for client questions and customer support. And then if you don't want to invest in engineering and improving the product, you don't have to. It runs, it's stable. There's really no bugs that we know of. But if we have the original engineers that worked with us on this available. I think that was a question. And like, if the buyer buys this, could they access the people that worked with this? We actually hired a third-party firm, so we could easily put them in touch if you didn't have an engineer. But then, it's really up to your own creativity. The buyer, what more time they want to spend on it depends on what they want to do with the product, how much they want to grow it, et cetera. But without, doing nothing, I would say it's 3, maybe 5 hours a month of mainly answering new client questions on how do I configure this? Well, what about this? How do I cancel my account? Kind of basic 101, just customer support.
And are there any employees currently working on this particular business?
You're talking to them. That's it.
And you talked a little bit about the engineering side. Sort of mentioned the framework that it's built on and obviously sort of the work that you've done.
Yeah, so the marketing site is Ruby on Rails, and then the blog is WordPress. So everyone's pretty familiar with that. And that's it. I don't know as much details on what plugins and what, modules on it all. It runs on Heroku. Email is powered by SendGrid. We've mentioned we have Intercom that we've used on that. There's really not a lot to it. It's pretty straightforward as far as the tool set. I think there's probably less than 5 things that comes all of it that runs the application. So it's really easy to find engineers for Ruby on Rails. And like I mentioned, our engineers that took this project over and built out a lot of the newer functionality, that they would be happy to work on this project again because everyone really liked it and it was a pretty straightforward one.
Along the way, has there been anything that you've learned from this business that you might apply to your other businesses or future businesses?
All seriousness, I wish I would have bought this business not also running another big business, because it's kind of heartbreaking. Like, it's like releasing like my favorite thing in the wild. Like, you go set yourself free. You belong to have a different home, a better home that loves you more. Like, this tool is so rad. But I think, for me, the lesson learned is make sure I have time and intention to dedicate to something, because it could have been 10x, 20x bigger over the few years that we've had it, had we put dedicated resources. Also, I would say that, for me, like, this tool is simple. And I think that's one of the competitive advantages. Once a buyer, gets more details and understands the space it is, they'll immediately see what I mean. And the competitors are crazy complex. They're super complicated. They're more enterprise level, the high dollar amounts. This tool's not. This is like everyday tool. And I think that's like the power of simplicity is awesome. And I'm taking that. That's like one of my biggest lessons that I'll take with me from this experience is, man, if you can do something simple and straightforward, people would pay for that. Even if it is the same price as a complicated tool with more features, people actually value simplicity.
Yeah. And on that train of thought, if you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you might try to grow it?
Simple. I'd immediately start guest blogging and reaching out to people to start writing content for our blog. I would start, this tool is a data tool and people want to learn more about how to do data better. They want to learn how to find out more information about their clients, about their customers, about all of these things. And so I would just own that niche as far as our blog goes. I would run top of funnel paid traffic to these blogs, obviously pinging them with retargeting. And then our tool is just in everyone's feed, in everyone's face about this being the tool to start doing all that cool data stuff we're blogging about and that why it's important to your business and how it can help you, your clients and you and understand them better. Then try our tool. So it's real fundamental stuff. I think there's a really strong affiliate marketing play here we've never touched. Going to affiliate marketers who specialize in marketing tools and other sort of B2B spaces, influencers in that space, because it's pure SaaS. If you charge, I'm just making up numbers, we charge $100. I mean, that you can still give away half of that to an affiliate. I'm not saying that's the exact, play, but you could still give away half of that if you did and still make money on it because it's a SaaS tool. There's no cost of goods. There's no inventory. There's no labor. So your margins are really high to be able to leverage affiliate networks. We never got to that. So if there's a buyer who's heavy into affiliate marketing and can see the value, this is going to be a no-brainer.
And if one of those buyers were to come in, would you be willing to commit to a non-compete?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I even put in, the notes to answer questions and help out for a few weeks too. Like I'm super passionate. I have a million other ideas. So I think this would be just on my own, love for the product. I want to see it succeed. And I would love to brainstorm with that buyer as well, just to be like, dude, here's 100 things. I'll sign my non-compete and then give them all these ideas.
That's good to hear. Something we like to do towards the end is just maybe give advice to people that are starting out businesses. So what advice would you give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you started?
Oh my God. So first of all, have the right legal process and documents in place. I think one value of Empire Flippers is you guys make sure that this is a legitimate process. But I've had several businesses that were done with different parts that were done with a handshake or done with a conversation or done with an email. And while I haven't had any dramatic, tragic things happen quite yet, I've had spent 5-6 figures on legal fees fixing those problems. Whereas had I hired the right accountant or lawyer, I would have spent 4 figures, 3 figures, maybe 4 figures. So a fraction of it. So that's my best advice. If you're starting out, make the investment to make sure you're not doing the legal stuff. You're not doing the agreements. You're not doing anything with the Google law strategy where you just Google documents and download them and use them. Don't do that. That I have so many stories of why that costs 10 times more at least than doing it. And other than that, I think the other piece is know your numbers, really know how this is going to make money, be confident in the value, try to have profit from day one. That's something I've had with this business that I'm selling, with my other businesses. We've always made money from day one. And that to me has always given me that security to be more aggressive in growing the businesses and focusing on other things rather than being so stressed out about, being in the red.
Was there any software or tools that helped you at the start of running this business?
I would say Intercom is a great, amazing tool for connecting and working with clients. This is a software tool. Intercom, while it's not the cheapest out there, you can integrate it into your tool so that you can trigger actions and behaviors based on what clients do. So when they sign up, they can automatically get an email sent by Intercom knowing when they sign up. At 30 days, you can send them a check-in email. If they cancel, you can send them a follow-up. If they're not logging in, you can create messaging. As far as software for businesses goes, Intercom really owns the market. Again, there's some other competitors, I think, out there, but that's kind of like one of those tools that I'm willing to pay the price for it because it allows me to do so much in messaging and connecting with clients and prospects. And I wouldn't build a SaaS business without it.
And last few questions from me. Putting yourself in the shoes of the buyer, why do you think that your business is a business worth buying?
A, it's automated. Literally, you could buy it and do nothing and it'll make you money. So, and I don't say that. I mean, again, 3 to 5 hours, maybe. If you start marketing and getting more clients, be realistic. You're going to have more support at some point to do. But this has been the business that's literally been, this is why I don't want to sell it, to be completely honest. But my other business requires me to, because I need to be more focused. Is I just see the potential here, but it's so systemized and automated. Also, it's scalable. Meaning if you wanted to put 10,000 clients on it tomorrow and you could do that, you could. You want to put 100,000 more clients, you could. Not all businesses can do that. If you're wanting to buy a business that's like selling on Amazon or has services or other things, you're going to run into limitations with scale. With this kind of business, you don't. So I don't say this. I know this is a trite statement, but, quote, the sky's the limit, end quote. It kind of is true with any SaaS business. You're going to pay more for customer support. You're going to pay more for engineering, hosting. Those costs will naturally increase, but only as a fraction of what you're making. The last piece is the tool freaking works. Like if buyers are interested in looking at it and you get into it and you see it, like what it says it does really, really well. And it's one of the best out there based on metrics and performance. And so you're not buying something that needs to be proven. It already is proven and it's a top in class in what it does. So that's kind of nice too, because you're buying, it has a good brand. It has the assets, the Twitter, we've kept up with certain social channels on content. It's ready to roll and you're not going to have to build the brand. You're not going to have to do much. And if anything you do, it's just going to push it forward and help it grow.
Yeah, there seems a lot there to be built upon. Is there anything else that you would like to share that I might have missed?
No, I'm super thankful for Empire Flippers. I think you guys have been incredible. I think this is a great process. I'm excited to see where this goes. And like I mentioned, I'm willing and open to support the final buyer on this for a couple of weeks and just helping and being creative about it. I think it's an exciting time to be, getting into this space and there's a ton of opportunity. So thanks for the time today to share the story.
Thank you for joining us. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. Okay, everyone, thank you for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47945. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business, and I'll see you in the next episode.